Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the CANDU Sports Show. It's one of your hosts, Scott Blair here, and hope you all are doing well, rocking another episode. I am flying solo today because our man Don Ray Bennett is celebrating his big 21st birthday this weekend. So definitely shout outs to him. Hoping he's having an awesome celebration of his 21st. I'm joking. He's not 21, but he's celebrating well nonetheless. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. We got a couple of things to kind of jump in on, and we've had a little bit of a gap between episodes as we've had some personal things to attend to, and Donnery did some traveling as well last weekend. So what do we got? We got the NFL draft. So really quick, of course, with my squad, the Chicago Bears, it's official. Caleb Williams is now our next savior, so we'll see how that goes. But just amazing to see Rome Odunze drop down to the ninth slot for him. So now you've got a really fantastic offensive team, one that we really haven't had in Chicago in quite some time, with Rome, with DJ Moore, and of course with Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, and DeAndre Swift in the backfield. So we'll see what Caleb Williams can do with what is a pretty formidable set of offensive weapons there for Chicago. Of course, all the news has to do with the Falcons and their move to draft Michael Penix. I like Penix, but yes, you signed Kirk Cousins. What's up with that? I think it's a reasonable explanation. Kirk Cousins did have an Achilles injury, right? Achilles. It takes some time to kind of come back from that. So they have a little bit of an insurance policy. And what if his recovery doesn't go all that well? I don't think it's terrible to go on in and grab yourself a pretty good prospect coming out of college. You had a really nice career. Up for the Huskies. So I know that upcoming week, in the next couple of days, we're going to actually have schedule releases for the NFL season. So stay tuned for that. We'll definitely have a show to speak on that. Baseball, Phillies are doing well, so we'll definitely get Tom York back on here once again to talk about his Phillies having one of the best records in the majors so far. Yankees are doing well. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto looking good. We'll definitely break that down a little bit. But let's chop up with a little bit of basketball. So really kind of the closing, our final thoughts. And what's a short episode today? I don't want to get too deep into topics without our man Don Ray Bennett here on the call with me. But what an amazing first round of playoff games. And of course, most of that attention here in the Northeast is focused on one, the Celtics, doing really well, handling the Miami Heat for the most part. But of course, the Philadelphia 76ers falling to the New York Knicks. And Joel Embiid gave all he could. Can we just give an honest assessment? Guy has a pretty significant injury that he's been battling with his meniscus, Bell's palsy. I mean, wow. And the fact that he was still able to go out there and battle, salute to him for being able to do that. If we were to have an honest assessment of the team and look at the roster, it's not, there's work to be done there. So the 76ers front office got to get to work. And when we talk about trust the process, we know that they messed up. Jimmy Butler should still be a Sixer. How you let him leave town and go to Miami, you probably got a chip by now. If you don't have a chip, at least you would have contended for one. So if we were to really point fingers, it needs to be at the front office of making some really questionable personnel decisions by letting him go and keeping Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. We know that's played out. We get it. But when we sit here and, feel sorry about, feeling bad about the Sixers and everything else, they got some work to do. We'll see if these Paul George rumors, maybe bringing Jimmy Butler for a second round, we'll see if that all comes to fruition. But we'll see how that plays out. Out west, in the meantime, we saw some really interesting news with the Lakers letting go of Darvin Ham. How many more coaches? I want to know the stat. We got to look for it. How many coaches has LeBron had in his 2021 year career? in the NBA. Darvin Ham led that team to the Western Conference Finals last year, and they lost to the eventual champion. And to just run him out like that, that just doesn't feel right. We'll see who they bring in. You know, there's been all sorts of rumors of a Jason Kidd. I don't see that happening. I don't think Dallas is letting him go. I also don't think Ty Lue is going to leave I don't think the Clippers are going to let him go across the street to go coach the Lakers. I don't see that happening. JJ Redick, okay. I don't see it. I don't really know what coach wants to go to a squad where their window is pretty narrow, and I just don't see a chance of them winning unless they have some major shakeups on the roster, and I just don't see it. I just don't see it. The West is amazing, loaded hard with Minnesota, Denver, OKC. We'll see. But with the Lakers falling, and then of course we got some news with the Milwaukee Bucks stepping down, but they were an injured team. I mean, there's only sure you can put attention on the coaching changes and everything else. They really hadn't been healthy for most of the season. Not sure if the Dame Lillard piece really mixes there, but it's hard to tell because they really weren't healthy. So when we kind of get a crystal ball and we see what the second round and then eventually leading to the finals, I'm gonna give you a little Nostradamus selection. I'm going to go with an upset. I think the Knicks are going to come out of the East. I think we're going to have an epic Eastern Conference Finals with the Knicks against the Celtics. I think that's going to be amazing. And I'm just trying to imagine New York City if the Knicks make it to the finals. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Out west, I'm thinking Minnesota. So let's tune in for a New York, Minnesota, and Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson. That's going to be a nice matchup. Now, if we get Boston against Minnesota, good. And I certainly don't want to overlook OKC, but I just don't think Denver can matches up well with Minnesota. So let's see what we got there. So WNBA, I'm not forgetting about you. Your season starts officially in just about a week. Lots of amazing preseason, but they got to get themselves set and ready. How you don't broadcast the Chicago Sky first preseason game? People had to watch it on Twitter because somebody was streaming it from their phone. Nika Mule wasn't able to play in the game in Canada because something was up with the visa. Like y'all, and that happens. You know, I know that happens even in the NBA, but I hope they come correct because this is an amazing moment we see in front of us. Caitlin Clark looked amazing. So I can't wait to see their season launch. Diana Taurasi's still out there. Brianna Stewart, New York Liberty. It's going to be a fantastic season. So really quick episode here on the CANDU Sports Show with just yours truly. Looking forward to getting another episode in a couple of days with my partner in crime, Don Ray Bennett. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll talk soon. Go Bears and good night, Venezuela. Peace.